What's good, guys? It's me, Jared the Weep here, back again with another video. Okay, this is part 2 of what if Madara was transported to ReZero. Now, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. I have a Discord. Leave a like, subscribe. We're almost at 1,000 subs soon. I know we can hit it. Let's go. Anyway, now last time Subaru died and Madara was reset. And this is 2 loops after Subaru has died from that. So it took Madara 2 times to figure out who's killing which. And Madara is looking down at the village and he says, I killed the entire village. He's talking about the what's in Roswell's mansion area. You know, Petra's village. I forgot what is the village name. I just call it the village. I don't even know what the village name is. And Madara says, I killed everyone and Subaru didn't die. But Subaru and everyone at the mansion betrayed me when I did that. So I killed Subaru right there. And for the second one, I just killed all of the adults, but Subaru still dies. So it must be one of the animals or one of the children. But should I really risk killing all the children? Maybe I should kill one by one. But that'll be so many loops. And Madara then sees Subaru walking towards him, and he says, how did Subaru find me? And Madara says, stay away from me, Subaru. I'm in deep thought. And my apologies, my pictures are not working properly, so I only could get 3 photos. I wanted to show more, but yeah, my computer's not working properly. I'm just telling you. And Subaru says, what are you talking about? It seems like you've been standing here almost all the time I was here. And Madara says, you can go be a butler with those 2 maids. I don't really care about this. You're forgetting about going back to your original world. What about your family? I want to go back to my Chia clan. I'm the leader. They'll be lost without me. They might have Hashirama. And Subaru said, the first Hokage. And Madara says, how do you know this? And Subaru says, the book. And Madara says, I'm getting tired of you mentioning that book. And he says, it's all because of Satella. And Subaru says, I learned a little bit more about this Satella woman. She was an elf just like Amelia. And Madara says, yeah, I thought Amelia was going to be Satella. That's why we were transported here, to stop her, or stop you from dying. And Subaru says, what do you mean? That's what she called me here for. At least I can say that to you. And Subaru says, I was called here by this Satella woman, but why don't I remember? And Madara says, maybe she doesn't want you to remember because you'll do something hasty and keep going into... And Subaru says, loops. And Madara then looks at him and says, what do you mean by loops? And Subaru says, maybe I'll talk to you. And Subaru can actually talk to Madara. And Subaru says, I've been experiencing such pain that I don't want to keep experiencing. Every time I wake up, I feel that I die. And Madara says, he keeps himself quiet because he can't say anything. And Subaru says, it seems like you're so worried about me. Does it have to do something with my dreams? And Madara just looks at him and trying to make a signal where he could show Subaru. And then he remembered he can put Subaru into a genjutsu. And he uses it. And I'm pretty sure Satella's, when he tries to explain the loops, I'm pretty sure she can't go inside Madara's genjutsu. So Madara says, yes, he puts a Subaru in a genjutsu. And he explains, you do keep dying. And I keep getting reset. Those dreams are true. One time, in the one of the loops, I killed the entire. He explains what he did. I killed the entire village to save you, and you betrayed me. The second one, I kill all the adults, but you still die. And Subaru was like, I really do die. So he says, I do remember my dreams from all the other times. So I'll start helping a little more. I thought I was just going, these weird dreams weren't really happening. And Madara says, I'm glad that you know about it, so you can avoid dying. Now I need you to stay out of the village. You hear me? And Subaru says, understood, I'll stay out of the village. And Madara says, okay, you weren't around any, he wasn't bitten by the dog or the mob beasts because he went straight over to Madara before the dog could bite him. And he says, do you remember anything from... Madara starts to remember that Subaru had a bite on his arm. He says, a bite? It sounds familiar, but I can't remember. So Subaru only can remember in fragments. And Subaru says, I'll be going now. And Madara says, please stay at the mansion. I'll see what happens. We can always fix it. And Subaru says, I don't want anyone to die because of me. And Madara says, we can always fix it. And I won't tell you right away. I'll tell you after I fix it, so you don't remember. If they die, it's my fault. And Subaru says, okay. So Subaru stays at the mansion while Madara doesn't kill any of the children. He just watches them. And that sounded kind of sus how I said that. Okay. It just really sucks that I can't use any of the photos. So Madara then narrows it down to two people that could kill Subaru. It's either the dog that bites him and one of two children that could put a curse on him. He's limited down to Petra or Melee. And Subaru, like Subaru does, he stays at the mansion. He only cleans the mansion and he never goes out. But Subaru, since he knows that something bad's gonna happen, he says he goes to Beatrice's library and tries to figure out if he's cursed or not. And after he figures out that he's not cursed, he then goes to tell Madara about this. And he stays at the village for a whole day. And Madara says, okay, thanks for telling. This is a day after Subaru arrives there. And it's been basically a full week. And Madara and Subaru notice that Subaru hasn't died. And both of them become very happy. And Madara shows a grin. I wouldn't say he is happy to get out the loops, but he wouldn't show it to Subaru. And Subaru says, we need to go back to the mansion. Maybe we defeated the loop. And Madara says, yes. And Madara and Subaru walk over to the mansion. And they hear crying. And Amelia is outside the Roswell mansion. And she goes to explain that Rem is passed away all of a suddenly. And Subaru gets down on his knees and he says, what? But how? And Madara says, I guess if you don't get the curse. I guess if you don't get the curse, then you won't die. That's very unfortunate. And Reinhardt has already came here. Since Subaru doesn't die, Subaru dies the next morning, so Reinhardt already came here. That's why he's not in the story. He's already figured out what's going on, and he lets Madara off. So I didn't forget about Reinhardt. And Subaru says, what the heck is this? Why does she have to die because of me? Subaru starts to cry out in pain. He says, how many times does Madara have to experience this? He remembers everything. He says this in his mind. And he says, where's Ram? And Madara says, oh, that's the names of the maid's name? Rem and Ram. Okay, I'll remember. Yeah, he was trying to get Subaru out of dying. But as this was happening, Roswell was yelling to stop Ram. Beatrice tries to stop her too, but Ram shoots an attack right at Subaru. And Subaru says, Ram, why would you do this? And Madara says, you better stop that right now. And Madara gets in the way of Subaru. And Madara says, I'm not trying to kill any of you, but don't hurt Subaru. He needs to survive so I can leave this place. And Madara says, Subaru, I'll give you a chance to run, or I'll give you another chance. We can kill them. They won't know. It'll be self-defense. And we can just kill that Ram woman. She attacked you first. I'm pretty sure we can take them. We can keep Amelia alive if you want us to. And Subaru says, what? What are you talking about? We need to keep them all of them alive. And he tries to say he can reset, but it won't work because everyone else is around. He only can say it to Madara. And Madara says, I understand. So Madara says, I'm not good into this talking stuff. And Madara says, he knows how Ram feels to lose a brother. He says, they died in war. I didn't even get to see their bodies because they were so burnt. I even had to take one of my brother's eyes just to be able to see properly. I'm pretty sure it was one of the hardest things I ever done. And it still haunts me after I still done it. And everyone looks at Madara thinking that he's kind of crazy for doing such a thing to his own brother. He says, I did it so I could become strong. And he says, it wasn't really worth it. Taking my brother's eyes because I was too careless to use my eyes properly. And Madara says, you don't need to kill Subaru. We don't know who really killed him. I know Subaru wouldn't kill him. He's cared for all of you. In his own way. I know so. That's just not the type of person he is. He wouldn't kill anyone. And Madara says, okay, that's all I have to say. And Subaru says, thank you, Madara. But Ram wasn't having any of it. And she still charges right at Subaru. And Subaru says, Madara, please, you have to hurry up and kill me. And Madara says, I don't want to. We just finally figure out that you can survive. But it just only takes another life. You don't have to kill yourself. And Subaru says, I want this to happen. And Madara then turns around and says, fine. But you better remember next time. I'll tell you this. Remember, I will kill three people. Two people and an animal. Remember which one puts a curse on you. And this is while Ram is charging. She shoots one wind attack, but Madara uses his Susanoo armor to kick her away into the wall. And Roswell finally comes out and he says, what is this? What is that power? And Madara then summons his Susanoo. Puck summons himself and he says, Amelia, get behind. And Madara says, this is not even my full strength. This is the weakest part of my armor. The second weakest part of my Susanoo. And he says it can get a lot stronger. So Ram, I'll say it again. I want you to stop attacking Subaru. And Subaru then says, Madara, could you just and Madara says, no, I want you to remember dying. Because this is how I felt in every single loop. He says this quietly so they wouldn't hear. And he says, now. I'm sorry, I was about to say something cool, but I forgot what I was about to say. So Madara slices him with the sword from the Susanoo. And it goes straight through his heart. And Subaru starts to scream out in pain, and he says, I told you we could have just allowed everything to go as it was. But Subaru chose diligence, and Madara chose what would Madara choose? He chose I guess Madara would choose I gotta think about this. Okay, since Subaru chose diligence and Madara is now into the story, Madara would choose sacrifice or self-sacrifice. I think that would work. So he chooses to self-sacrifice himself to go back into another loop with Subaru instead of killing everyone at the mansion. Yeah, that works. And yeah, Subaru dies and Madara gets reset too. And Madara then says, okay, this is the final loop I have to go through. That is a promise. And Subaru remembers being killed by Madara this time. He remembers getting killed by Madara in the first loop, but he barely remembers it. And he most definitely remembers Madara killing him. And Subaru goes over to the village when he could, and he touches every single person that was there. And Madara is looking, and he is looking at every single person, and he sees that the dog and Melee are together, and that makes Madara a lot more suspicious. And Subaru and Madara are also talking, and yeah, this is the final photo. I know I could have used this for something better, but this is just only the beginning. Anyway, so Subaru gets bit by the dog, exactly as he does in the original timeline. And Subaru then tells Madara that he's going to go check with Beatrice. And Madara figures out the other person's name. And Subaru gives a lot of books so Madara can get a lot more information in this world. And Madara says, "Oh yes, I can keep killing you and get all the information in this world. I'll remember that." And Subaru says, "Please do not do that." And yes, Subaru goes back to see what did he get cursed by. And Madara starts to laugh and he says, "I'm finally gonna get out this loop." He says this to himself while he thought he was alone, but then he stops himself and he says, "Someone's hearing me." And he uses his Sharingan and a reflection, and he sees Melee is watching him. And he says, "Yeah, that child's suspicious. Maybe I should just eliminate her. No one will figure out." And the dog is with her. That animal is a part of something. And Subaru then figures out who's killing him. And he wants to hurry up and rush back to the village. And he ignores every single one at the mansion. And everyone's now suspicious of him. Since Subaru would normally he doesn't spend as much time as with them as he does in the original timeline because he wants to figure out who kills him. So Madara and Subaru figure out Subaru and Madara meet up with each other, and the two maids Rem and Ram, they think Subaru and Madara are plotting something suspicious. And Madara says, "So it is the dog. I should have known. Melee is a part of it too." And Subaru is surprised by this, and he says, "What?" "I know so, because that dog is always with Melee. So what do you think we should do, Subaru?" And Subaru says, "Maybe she's just a normal child, and she's just a part of... and the dog is tricking her." And Madara says, "We should just kill her and the dog, and then you won't die." And Subaru says, "I won't die. The curse was already put off of me." And Madara says, "Oh, by that Beatrice." And Madara says, "Well, we should kill her, just to make sure." And Subaru says, "No, we'll kill the dog." And Rem and... yes, they're back in the village, so don't be confused. So Rem and Ram heard about this killing of a dog or a child, and they confront Madara and Subaru. And Subaru says that he's been cursed by the dog That's why he wants to kill it, so it doesn't curse anyone else in the village. And Madara says Meili was around that dog, so he thinks she's a part of it somehow. He doesn't know that she's a Mobby's tamer. And Madara says we should do it right now before maybe more of those things show up. Maybe that's why Subaru is trying to. He changes his words around. He says Subaru's trying to save the village. This is very noble. And Subaru says, "Oh, thanks." As this was happening, Ram and Rem started to think about this situation. If the village gets destroyed, Roswald and Amelia's camp could be a lot more underground or more in danger. In failing for Amelia to become queen. So Madara says, "Oh yes, I also heard from Subaru that Amelia is trying to become a candidate for a royal selection. I think if we help the villagers with this problem, that could also raise Amelia's standings, since everyone doesn't like her, I heard." That's what Subaru was saying. And everyone agreed to help defeat the Mobbies if they do come. And everyone puts, Rem and Ram put up barriers and show Madara how to put up barriers. And Madara uses summoning jutsus all around the village. And he says, these will work too. These are traps. Those dogs ain't gonna get in this village. And Subaru says, I need to be trained by you, Madara. And Madara says, we'll do that after we defeat those Mobbies. And this is where I'll be leaving off the part. Next time, hopefully, the next part will be coming out 2 weeks from now. I need to make one of my Asta videos, or I haven't made a Deku video in a while. I'll make one of those soon. Or, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make Mob next week. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And, yeah, peace out. This is my first time ever making two video. Wait, no. It would be my... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed the What If. I'm sorry that I didn't upload a lot. Yeah, it was a lot of family over for Thanksgiving. So hopefully guys, everyone had a good Thanksgiving if you celebrated. If you celebrate something else, hopefully you had a good holiday or had a good day off if you are working or in school. That's all I want to say. You guys be healthy. Don't forget to wear your mask. Peace out. Bye.